Hello, I'm Josh George, filming a political video using college football. There's 538 electoral votes out there. You need 270 to win. How I'm going to use football teams? Well, if a team's red, orange, or yellow, like Roy, as in the Roy G. Biv, they're going to be a Republican team. If a team's red, indigo, or violet, they're going to be a Democratic team. If a team's green or brown, they're going to be a neutral team. If there's two major teams, they're going to go head-to-head in the series, and I'm going to look at the series, and whoever has the highest win total when they go head-to-head, that's what color that state's going to be. Now, starting with Washington, you have the Washington Huskies, who is a purple team representing the Democrats. Washington State, red. Washington leading the series, 74-32. Washington will be a blue state in November of 2020. Now, Oregon. The Ducks are green, and the Oregon State Beavers are orange. You've got a neutral team and a team that's a Republican. So, it goes red. Now, California, it's one of our tricky states. You've got four teams that I thought of. USC, the Trojans. Stanford, your tree. You've got UCLA, and then Cal Berkeley. Cal Berkeley and UCLA are blue. USC and Stanford are red. But Stanford has a series lead on both UCLA and Berkeley. So I went with USC for California, making them a red state come November. Now, Idaho. Idaho's gold, but when I think of this state, I think of Boise State, and Boise State is blue. Now to Nevada. You've got the Wolfpack against UNLV. The Wolfpack happens to lead that rivalry series. So you've got a blue state because Nevada's blue, even though UNLV's red, that state's going blue. Now Montana. The team that I think of when I think of Montana is the Montana Grizzlies, and they're a red team. Now, to Utah. Utah has the Utah Utes and BYU. BYU being blue is a Democratic team. Utah being red represents the Republicans. The Utes lead that state rivalry, so Utah's a red state. Arizona. I consider Arizona to be a blue team, and Arizona State, the Sun Devils, to be a red team. The Wildcats, however, lead that series. The Wildcats, a team I consider to be blue. That makes Arizona a blue state. Now, Wyoming, I'm going to skip for now because Wyoming is a brown team. Colorado, the Buffaloes are brown, and Colorado State is green, a neutral color. So I'm going to skip them for now. Now, New Mexico and New Mexico State are both red teams. So we've got a red state. Now, let's scroll up. North Dakota State, up in Fargo, green, neutral. But the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State are blue. Nebraska, the Cornhuskers, they're red. So you've got a red state. Kansas got a little tricky for me. Kansas State's purple, which represents the Democrats, but Kansas is red and blue. Since Kansas State's the other team and they're Democrat, they got to be the tiebreaker. Kansas became a blue state. Oklahoma, I think of the University of Oklahoma. I think of OU. They're a red team. So Oklahoma was red. Texas got tricky. You've got Texas, Texas Tech, Texas A&M, and TCU. TCU's a Democrat color, and you've got Texas Tech and Texas A&M, both red. Texas orange, that's more red, so Texas became a red state. Now, Minnesota, the Golden Gophers, they're more brown than anything, so I'm leaving them brown for now. Iowa, they're yellow, and Iowa State has red in their color scheme, so Iowa went red. Missouri's a yellow team, so I went red for them. The Razorbacks are red for Arkansas. But you've got a purple team in Louisiana, which makes Louisiana a blue state. Now, Michigan, the Wolverines are a blue team. So we've got a blue state. Wisconsin Badgers, they're red. So a red state. Illinois, I had trouble deciding if they're orange or blue. I leaned towards blue. So you've got a blue state. Now, Mississippi, it gets tricky because Mississippi State is red, but Ole Miss I consider blue. Ole Miss leading the series makes them a blue state in 2020. Now, Indiana, the Hoosiers are red, but Notre Dame's kind of the main team, and they lead the series against the Hoosiers head-to-head, so Indiana will be a blue state because Notre Dame is blue. The Wildcats of Kentucky are blue, so that's a blue state. Tennessee's orange, a Republican color, so Tennessee gets to be red. Alabama, you've got a blue team in Auburn and a red team in Alabama. The red team wins head-to-head because Alabama leads the series over Auburn, so you've got a red state. Now, Ohio, the Buckeyes are red, so I went with red for Ohio State. West Virginia, I went with the Mountaineers. I know some people think of Marshall, who's a green team, but the Mountaineers are definitely blue, and because of West Virginia. Now, to Georgia. Georgia's interesting because you've got a yellow team in Georgia Tech and a red team in UGA. So I went with red. Florida gets a little more complicated because you've got Miami, who's kind of a town, but they're green and orange. So I'll leave them out for now. And you've got Florida, who I consider to be more blue, and Florida State, who I consider to be more red. Florida leads this series, so Florida will be a blue state in November. Now, Pennsylvania, you've got Pittsburgh, who's blue, and the Nittany Lions of Penn State, who are blue, so that's going to be a blue state. For New York, I used the Syracuse orange, and they're orange, which is one of our Republican colors, so they go red. Now, going down to Maryland, here, they're red and yellow, the Terrapins, so they're a red state. Virginia, now with Virginia Tech leads the series against Virginia. Some people consider Virginia blue, some people consider them orange. Either way, the state's red. North Carolina, either way, the state will be blue. Duke or North Carolina. South Carolina, you've got a team I consider purple in Clemson and a red team in South Carolina. But Clemson leads the head-to-head matchups. So South Carolina will be a blue state. Now, Maine, the Black Bears are blue. Vermont is a green team. New Hampshire has a blue school. Now, with Massachusetts, you've got Boston College, red, and UMass, both red teams. So they're going to be a red state. Rhode Island, they're a blue team. Yukon, the Huskies, they're blue. New Jersey's team, they're a blue team. And Delaware, the Birdies, are blue. So, with all that done, we have our final results with 38 toss-up states, or toss-up electoral votes, 225 electoral votes to the Democrats, and 275 electoral votes to the Republicans. They're going to win the election in November, according to college football.